Welcome back to the video blog. My name is Adam Daniel Mezei, adamdanielmezei.com or pmdforhire.com. Welcome to Cascais in Portugal, and over the left side of my shoulder is the westernmost point on the European continent. I thought it was a good opportunity to talk a little bit about what a PMD entails, because yeah, most people can break down the acronym, the three letters, and say, yeah, producer of marketing and distribution, but marketing, distribution, yeah, I know a little bit about marketing, I know a little bit about distribution, but nobody in the film business yet is really well aware of what the PMD entails. And this is now going on more than a year since John Reese of Totbo, Think Outside the Box Office, is the guy who coined the actual position. So very specifically, your PMD is put to work to ensure that the things that you, independent filmmaker, don't have time for, all of the various little niggling nitty-gritties of getting your film evangelized and out into the marketplace, that is your point person who is basically responsible that all of those responsibilities don't fall by the wayside. Because invariably what happens is, most independent filmmakers can't be in 6 places at once. They need to delegate certain responsibilities. And even though independent filmmaking teams are generally called upon to be very diverse and multitasking, they still don't have all of the necessary disposable time to devote to marketing and distribution. Quite naturally, the producer of marketing and distribution is entirely, wholly, and fully responsible for your social media campaign. That means Facebook fan pages and groups, monitoring, friend requests, comment streams, also Twitter feeds, regularly tweeting, not just tweeting in response to things, but regularly being on charge of that channel. That means from the moment that they begin their day to the moment that they finish their workday, they are devoting their online time to helping your film get traction. Another thing they're trying to do is talk up your film, but in a sophisticated kind of a way, not just shilling. Actually knowing the subject material fully in depth, having read the script or having watched the film, and being able to talk about it with a degree of intelligence that the average PR hack that you put to work just for, I don't know, for a gig doesn't know about. You also have to have somebody that knows a thing or two about business. They have to know how to organize spreadsheets, they have to know how to read financial data, they have to know how to basically be a bit of a salesman, they have to know how to, I guess, kibitz, and then they have to know how to be kind of just very conversational with people who are responsible for making your film money. They've got to have contacts in the distribution world. They've got to know where people are buying films. They have to have even bought several films before in the past themselves. For example, if I'm a PMD, I'll have already watched several VOD titles. I'll know how to navigate my way around iTunes. I'll know how content aggregators work. I'll know which ones are submitting to these various channels. IndieFlix, NeoFlix, iTunes, this kind of thing. And you have to have been there and tried it and wasted time on these channels. Other distribution techniques. You have to know novel ways of getting your product out there. Ways that are above and beyond the stuff that's even already that has already been tried. Your PMD has to bring suggestions for how to get your film more well known. Not necessarily things that they'd want to publicize, of course, because those are, I would call, proprietary ideas, and once one person has it, it kind of loses its novelty. They have to come to you with ideas and keep suggesting ways. Come onto the table and brainstorm and brainstorm and brainstorm. That's what I would be looking for your PMD to do. Another thing PMDs do is they're responsible for your film festival submission campaign. They have to know which film festivals they're submitting to. They have to know the deadlines. They have to make sure that there are no double submissions, which would disqualify a film from getting in. And if we're talking about Toronto, the Berlinale, or Cannes, or Venice, or Sundance, or the big festivals, that is pretty much a whammy. They'll have deep sixed your film if they don't know how to do that properly. Another thing they have to do is they have to take interviews for you. They have to do triage, and they have to basically screen whoever wants to interview the filmmaker, the writer, director, producer, and the team. They have to know who's okay and who's not. They have to know who's not coming to the production or to the squad with noble intentions in mind. That means that they have to have a diverse network. They have to be well known. They have to be in the top rankings in the Google listings in various search engines. Your PMD person has to be totally tapped into what's going on online. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that your PMD needs to have an entirely virtual personality that is self-sustaining online. you need to be looking for something like that when you put your PMD to work. You have to make sure that they're bringing that to the table in advance. Ask questions. And make sure that your make sure that your PMD person is fully on top of pop culture, books, not just films, but stuff in general, because that's how you really find out what people are interested in. That's how you really find out where people are congregating and hobnobbing. That's my opinion. Those are some of the duties of the PMD. That's what the PMD is. So if you ask somebody, what's a PMD? Tell them things like I've just told you. Try to summarize it in better detail. And as independent films are distributed online more exclusively, and as the theatrical forewalling it and things like that, having cinematic releases, as those begin to diminish in importance, the PMD will evolve into a more permanent position. And I would reckon to say that by this time next year, we'll have several tens, maybe even hundreds of PMDs doing the work. So do your due diligence. Ask around, and of course have a look at pmdforhire.com if you're looking to bring somebody on board to help your film get better traction. My name is Adam Daniel Mezei, and wishing you from Cascais in Portugal, look at this, man, the very best of things.